Hello everyone there. I am Garima Miss. Welcome back to my English lecture. Today we are going to do two things. But before it I must revise you in the last or previous lecture what we had seen. We had seen 2.1 Song of the Open Road, page number 94, section 2, Song of the Open Road, written by Walt Whitman. Walt Whitman, we had seen poet and poem introduction, about the poet and poem. Thirdly, we had seen in the last lecture, that is summary, and last we had seen theme of the poem. So in the last previous lecture we had seen four things: introduction, about the poet and the poem, summary of the poem, and theme of the poem. Today in this lecture we are going to see first glossary of words, word meaning, that means, and line by line explanation of the stanzas. So without wasting time, let's move on to the next slide, which it talks about glossary of words. Glossary of words. In this slide we are going to learn words and their meaning. So let's start. Our first stanza, first word. Point number 1, a foot. A foot means progress, move ahead or moving ahead, or to start. The poet here in this poem is almost ready to start his life journey. Second, light-hearted. The poet is very light-hearted. Okay, the poet, if you would see here, is light-hearted. It means carefree, stress-free, no tensions and worries. That means carefree. Next, brown path. Brown path means bare land. Okay, brown path means bare land where nobody is there, alone. The poet is saying that I am alone walking on the road. Whimper. Whimper, if you would see, it means sad cries. Okay, sad cries, it means sometimes when we are in a worry, we actually, if you would see, we whimper, we cry. Yes, especially with fear and pain. Okay, so that, if you would see, it means what? It means whimper. Next is fifth one, postpone. Postpone means to stop for few days. Generally children are having such habit, when the teacher gives the homework or some assignment, the children, what they do, they postpone it by saying tomorrow I will do, day after tomorrow I will do. It means not doing the particular work on that day. It means to stop for few days. Next, querulous. Querulous meaning complaining. It means sometimes we complain about others, or sometimes somebody else is complaining about us. Sometimes we complain that see that girl, see that boy, how they are, or sometimes others are complaining about us. That is querulous. Of course, when the querulous is happening, we all human beings are irritated. Why we complain? Showing that one is irritated. Yes, that is querulous. Next, seventh one, constellations. Constellations means influential group of people, those who are surrounded with us. Yes, they might be telling about our destiny, our fate, our future. So somebody likes to be in that group. So that is constellation. Next, suffice. Suffice meaning sufficient, full, adequate, enough, full, sufficient. Ninth one, it means delicious burden. Delicious, normally this word we use with the food, yes, but here the poet is using with the burden, burdens or problems. Okay, so the poet is well set to solve his problem in a very delicious way. Okay, it means sweet memories of the past, whatever the past burdens are there, that he is going to solve in a very beautiful and stress-free way. Okay, so thinking this in mind, let's start our poem stanza line by line explanation of the poem. So in the next slide we are going to see line by line explanation where these hard words are of course there, so it will makes us understand stanzas more clearly. So move on to the next slide, that is line by line explanation of the stanzas. Line by line explanation of the stanzas. Line by line explanation of the stanza of the poem Song of the Open Road. Line number 1, first stanza. Pay attention everyone on this slide. Line number 1. Afoot and light-hearted, I take to the open road. Afoot, I had given you the meaning. Can you see the slide, everyone? What does the meaning suggest? You all are having the slide, previous slide. Can you see it? What's the meaning? Progress, moving ahead. Yes, moving ahead. It means the poet, if you would see, is all set to move ahead, to start, to begin his journey with a light-hearted. Light-hearted means he is not at all having any tensions in his mind. He is starting his journey without any tension. I, who is I here? Pronoun I. I is Walt Whitman himself. The speaker, we all know, is the Walt Whitman himself. So Walt Whitman is starting the journey with a very fresh mind, with a happy, cheerful face. Take two. Take two. What do you mean by the term take two? Start. Something that you are starting. Start to the open road. Please underline the word open road. Open road means road of our life. Here the open road means which type of road? The road of our life. What we want to become in our life. What is our dreams? What is our ambitions? That it means open road it properly makes us understand that there is an indirect comparison. Open road is indirectly compared with our own life, what we want to become in our life. So the poet is saying that I am set to move on this life, to move forward in my life, to start my journey, the journey where I am going to become something in my life. Next line, line number 2. Healthy, comma, fresh, free, comma, the world before me. Healthy, it means what? Not only physically fit, but also Walt Whitman is saying that I am mentally prepared. I am mentally prepared means, of course, in this journey, while I was walking on the road, while I was moving ahead in my life to become something, of course there are several criticisms, abuses, bully, bad words people are going to speak, but I am having a very healthy mind. And with that mind I am going to move forward on this road. I am free, as I had said in the last slides very properly, that here the poem based on freedom. The poem main, if you would see, content or theme is based on the freedom. The poet enjoys his freedom a lot. So poet is saying that there is no troubles. I am healthy, not only physically but also mentally prepared for all the troubles or problems or burdens which are coming in my life, and free. There is no restrictions on me wherever I am moving ahead on this road, wherever I am moving ahead in my life. There is no restriction of anyone in my life. The world before me, whatever the world is coming, whether the good things are coming in my life, or of course while I'm walking on the road, while I'm on my journey to on this journey to move ahead in my life, as I'm passing definitely several troubles, problems, miseries, worries are going to come, but that I want to solve clear it with a happy heart, with a healthy mind, and with a free independent. It is me that I am going to solve all the problem. No parents, no friends, no cousins or anyone is going to come to solve my problem. Same way, after 12th standard student, if you want to become something in your life, you are moving ahead. If you make your future that this is the thing that I want to become, there is no one who will unturn the stone. You himself is responsible. You himself is responsible to make your own future bright. Is that clear? Moving to the line of the first stanza, the long brown path. I think in the slide, can you see the meaning brown path? Meaning I had given in to you. Brown path, it means of course road color. If I will ask student, tell me the road color, you all will say, madam, it is brown color. Of course, path means road, but here it means bare road. Bare means nobody is there to help me, to make me walk. Of course, while normally generally if you are walking on the road, do anyone is making you cross the road? Do anyone is helping you? No, we himself or herself is moving on the road. So this is a long road. It means life is a long journey where so many things you are going to do in your life. You want to become something in your life, you want to complete your graduation, after that post graduation, after that you have to pick up your good job, and after that of course you have to do internship and several things you have to do. So there is lots of things that you are going to do in your life. Yes, so brown path means in this bare land, in this bare place, while I'm walking on this long road, leading before me, leading wherever I choose. It is up to me. It is up to me which passage, which way, which path I want to select, which path I want to select, from which road I have to go, what I have to become. I have to do graduation, or I have to do other courses, or I have to do diploma courses. What I have to do, it is me that I am going to select the road. It is me that I am going to select my life, that the poet is talking about. Henceforth, line number 4, if you would see, the poet is saying, henceforth I ask not for good fortune. The poet is saying, don't give me best of luck while you are going for exams or something like that. Your friends tell you best of luck, your parents wishes you best of luck, and you even while you are going for any examination or something, of course after the 12th standard, or for example after graduation, if you are going for interviews and all, we all are having that habit, of saying to the god that please give me the good fortune, all things would be good. So we all are dependent or asking with the god that give me the good luck. So same way here you could see the poet is saying, I don't want good luck, I don't want any good luck. That he is saying in a very particular way. Henceforth he is saying, I don't ask for good fortune, I don't want good wishes, because I myself, I am good fortune. I am going to make my own future bright. There is nobody who is going to make my future bright. I myself is going to make my own future. I don't bent in front of the god and ask for, please give me god, please give me this. I'm not going to beg. I am not going to beg in front of the god or anyone to give me the good fortune. I myself is, that is, I means Walt Whitman is saying, I myself is going to make my future bright. Okay, so you could see the first stanza, if you would see, it was only of 3 lines. Okay, so 3 lines, if you would see, a foot and light hearted I take to the open road, healthy free and healthy free the world before me, the long brown path before me, leading wherever I choose. So this was the 3 lines first stanza. Okay, so 3 lines first stanza is completed. It totally talks about the speaker who is setting out to move ahead on the road by his foot. The first thing that it talks about, the poet is very light hearted, very cheerful, and open to all experiences. He is ready to experience everything. Experiences would be positive, the experiences would be negative, but once he will solve any problem now, it will give him a good lesson. It it will give him the good lesson. Yes, so that it talks about. And of course, in the third line of the poem, if you would see, it is saying the speaker is in control of his life. The speaker is saying, I don't want anybody's control on me. I am going to control my life by myself. he he is saying that I am going to choose my own road of my life. I am going to select my own path, and that I am going to start my own journey. I don't want anybody's interference or coming in my life and telling me what you want to do. So the poet is saying that I am totally set free. I am born free. That the first stanza talks about. Second stanza, first line even I had taken. Second stanza, first line, that means you can see fourth line of the poem. If you would see fourth line of the poem, I had said that the poet is again saying a very good thing, that I am not going to pray in front of the god that please give me the good luck, because the poet himself is saying that I am the maker of my own luck. The poet is saying here in a very proper way that I am the maker, I am the creator of my own luck. There is nobody who is going to make my luck. I am going to make my luck, and of course a good fortune, a good luck. Henceforth, again the poet is saying, I whimper. Whimper, you see the meaning in the last slide. I had given you the meaning, sad cries. The poet is saying, I am not going to cry in front of anyone. I don't want to show my fear or pain to anyone. Okay, so the poet is saying, I am not going to cry. If I am moving ahead in this journey, if I will not get anything, I will not show the sadness to anyone. And of course, I'm not going to postpone the things. Postpone, even I had given you the meaning in the last slide. Can you see it? Postpone means not doing at that period of time. Okay, saying that I will do afterwards. For example, a very good example I can give you. If the teacher gives you the homework, what you say? Okay, I will do tomorrow. Okay, I will do day after tomorrow. So that's the very worst habit of the human being, for postponing the things. It means to stop for few days. Okay, why we are stopping it for few days? We do not have to do things. Don't procrastinate work. We do not have to procrastinate work. We have to move forward in our life. Procrastinate means don't push it to the next day. Don't push it to the tomorrow, day after tomorrow. This is the very bad habit that we used to do. We have to solve the problem by ourselves. That it is talking about. We have to solve the problem by ourselves. Don't push it to the next day. So the poet is saying, I am not going to cry anymore. I am not going to postpone or stop any work which comes in my journey for few days. Need nothing. I am not going to do such things. I do not accept any need. I don't have any need and expectation in my life. Whatever the things that I am having, I am happy. The poet is very clearly saying, I will never demand anything. I will never demand anything. If it is mine, definitely one day I will get it. So for that, I will never cry. I will never cry on my failure. Of course, I will learn from my failure. Whatever the problems that come in my way, I am going to learn from them, not be discouraged. That the poet is saying in a very proper way. The poet is saying, whatever the work that is coming in my way, I will never consider it as burden. I will consider it in a very positive way and try to solve it. I will never postpone or stop the work for few days. I will complete whatever the work I will get that time only. Same way we can take the example of your life also. In 12th standard, if the teachers are giving you any homework, any assignments, any projects, or giving you the slides to study, please study it. Yes, please study it, because it is properly given in a very proper way. If you will see this poem, it is present in a very proper way, so you can understand. So once you get the slide, please start studying. Okay, please, if you are start studying, you will never procrastinate. It means you will never postponing the things. You will definitely going to study that day only, and you would be completing one chapter. So this is the good way of completing whatever the work you are getting it that day itself. Okay, Next line, if you would see what the poet is saying, third line of the second stanza, done with the indoor complaints, libraries, querulous criticism. The poet is saying, I am done with it. I am not going to listen anybody's complaints, criticism, whatever the abuses people are saying, whatever the things that the people are saying, I am not going to listen it anymore. I am done with it. I am going to just not going to pay attention on it. Libraries, normally we can say libraries is a place where it is filled with the books, but here the poet is saying libraries in context with the criticism, the bad words, the abuses, the bully that peer people, that of course your friends used to do, your peer friends, family members, relatives. I don't say that they do criticism, but they want to make you good, that's why they go on saying something. Or if you're walking on the road, several people say so many bad or wrong things to you, just don't follow it, just forget it, just leave it, and don't indulge in the querulous meaning, if you would see, I had given in the last slide, it means complaining. Don't be every time complaining. For example, if I am giving you homework, okay, and if you are not able to do, it means what you had done, you had postponed the work. What you had done, you had postponed the work. If you had not done the work, it means it is postponed. And of course you go on complaining, madam, you can see electricity was not there, madam, my cousins had come, how can I complete my complete my work, madam, I couldn't able to complete my work, the reason is that guest had arrived. So several excuses we give. So the poet is saying, in this journey of my life, I am not going to make any or listen any complaints which the people are saying. I am going to stop all the criticisms, all the things that the people are saying to me. I am done with it. I am not going to listen or bother about what the people say about me. Let the people speak whatever they want to say, but I am no more going to pay attention to. Strong and content, I travel the open road. Can you see the last line of this slide? Strong and content, I travel the open road. The poet is saying, in this journey of my life, while I am walking ahead, I am strong that no criticism, no bad words, no bully, no wrong things is going to stop me to reach up to my destination. And what is your destination? That means what is your goal? What you want to become in your life? A great, good businessman, an engineer, a medical person, or doctor, whatever you want to become in your life, bank manager, accountant. What is your target in your life, student? First fix your target and please achieve it. Whatever the troubles, bully, wrong people, whosoever is coming, just delete it. Just don't pay attention to it, okay? Just forget them, okay? They are the junks, they are going to create the problems in your life. So considering that junks, of course we put in the garbage. So same way, forget the worries, bad things, and move ahead in your life. That is talking about. So can we again see the last second stanza? Can we see the second stanza, student, again? What's the poet is talking about? Can we see it? Can you understand it in a very proper way what it has been said? The speaker is properly saying that he is no more going to pray to the god for the good luck. Yes. And again, the what the poet is also saying, that he is the maker, creator of his own luck. That's the line talks about. Second line, can you see what it talks about? The poet is saying in a very proper way that I am not going to cry. Whatever the problems, troubles, difficult situation will come, I am not going to show my pain or troubles and problems, because I myself, I do not require any help from anyone. I don't need the help, because whatever the pain, whatever the problem in achieving my goal, in achieving my target, whatever the pain and trouble it will come, I am going to solve it by myself. I never beg for help to anyone. I am going to do or create my own future. Of course, the poet is saying that he is no longer content with being walled inside. The poet, content means what? Satisfied. The poet is saying that I don't want to be satisfied in the four walls. I have to move ahead. It means after becoming, doing the graduation, I don't want to stop myself. I have to again move ahead. I have to complete my post graduation. Means, of course, I'm giving the example. I have to move ahead, means do more things. Life, if you would see, it gives us lots of opportunities, so it is the time that we have to catch hold of all the opportunities in our life. Yes, so what the poet last line, it is a very good line that everyone must remember. The poet is saying, I am very strong to solve any problems, whatever the criticism, whatever the wrong things are coming in my way. I am not going to pay attention to it. Whatever the work I got, I am not going to stop it. I am going to proceed it. It means I am not going to postpone the things. And I don't just want to be in content. Content means what? Satisfied with what I got. I am going to move ahead to make my life more better. Okay, once I got, for example, I had done graduation, then again I will work hard to post graduation, then after that I will again do some diploma courses. It means what? I have to be best in my field. Same way, students, I'm telling you also that you should be also best in your field. Yes, whatever the things that you choose, you have to be the best, and for becoming best you have to regularly do lots and lots of hard work. That the poet is mentioning over here. The poet is saying that I just don't want to be walled inside in the four walls, in this four, if you will see in your room where you are sitting, it is covered with the four walls. So I just don't want to sit in one room. I don't want to you know, shut the opportunities which are coming in my way. I have to grab the opportunity. I don't have to shut the opportunities. I have to grab the opportunities more and more. Then only we can say then only we can say that you had become a particular person who can able to achieve your dreams in your life. Next, you can see he is also properly saying that he is very happy heart and he is strong enough. With the happy way he is walking on the road, and that this line talks about a very important thing. If you will see that the sixth line of this poem, querulous criticism, is a very significant one. While solving the figures of his speech, I think most of the student, while seeing the querulous criticism, had started answering from there only, madam, which figure of his speech it is. So while we will do the figures of his speech, it would be more easily able to understand. So querulous criticism, there is one figures of his speech that we are going to mention in the next slide. Okay, so in this slide, in the first two in this slide, we had seen the first two stanzas, where first stanza is of 3 lines and the second stanza is of 4 lines, where we had well understood that poet is setting out to walk on the road. It means journey of his life. He is determined to become something in his life. He is moving ahead. He is very happy. He is very strong from his mind that whatever the problems, troubles, people are abusing, using bad words for him or her, poet, of course, poet, if you would see, I am giving the example. The poet is saying, I am ready to solve any problem. There is nothing that no one is going to stop my dreams. I am going to complete my dream, what I had thought about. Whatever the complaints, whatever the things which are coming, let it be. I'm not bothered about. And the poet is saying in the next stanza, I am the creator of my own future. Same way, you people, student, you children are also creator of your own future. Yes, and of course the poet is saying in a very proper way, I am not going to push the work for the next day. Push the work for next day means I am not going to postpone the things. I am going to do the work that day only, that time only, so that I can be succeeded in my life. So the poem is very optimistic poem. It talks about that we should live the life. live means survive the life, whatever we dream of, whatever we are dreaming, first we have to live it. So in order to live, live, live means to survive that dream, you have to do lots and lots of hard work. So first make the target that what you want to become. You want to become engineer, you want to become bank manager, what you want to become, set the target and start working hard. And if definitely if you're following these motivating ideas given by Walt Whitman, the success would be yours. So in the next slide we are going to learn stanza third and stanza fourth. So come on, let's see stanza number third, which is there in the next slide. Line by line explanation of the stanzas. Last slide we had seen first two stanzas, now third stanza. Third stanza, first line. The earth that is sufficient. The poet, that is Walt Whitman, is saying that whatever is there on this earth, that is sufficient for me. I don't demand anything. The earth is having everything. Okay, the earth, my mother earth is enough to fulfill my dreams. My mother earth is enough for me to travel. I do not need or crave or having the desire that I need something else. So earth is there to fulfill my dreams. Next line, I do not want the I do not want the constellations any nearer. Constellations I had already said in the word meaning slide, glossary of word meaning slide. I had said it means influential group of people. Influential groups of people may be talking about the fate, may be talking about the destiny. Okay, we are very much in crave of it. A general example, if really student you want to learn, I would say it happens when for example in a family, if all of them in the business, okay, working, not working means they are in a business work, you would see most of them actually feel for you that you also in your future become a good businessman. However, you are having the keen for something else to do in your life, but your parents, your cousins and all feel for you that you also come in the same family business. So you could see constellation means, of course there are so many influential peoples are there surrounded by you. They might be sometimes judging you, they might be sometimes giving you a good decision, sometimes they are not giving you the good decision. Poet is saying I do not want any constellations near me. I don't want to bring nearer to them. Wherever I am good, strong and having a determination in my mind. I don't want anybody's help. In order to reach up to the high, in order to fulfill my dream, in order to target my aim, achieve my aim, I will never crave or having a strong desire that I should come or take the support of them. I do not require anybody's support. Wherever I am happy enough. And if I require anything, I will take from my Mother Earth. If any need is there, my Mother Earth is going to fulfill all my dreams. But I will not crave in front of any people to fulfill my dreams. I do not want to be in that group. I am where I am. That means satisfied enough. Third line of the third stanza. I know they are very well where they are. Right now, I had said the poet is saying where they are now. Very good. Let them be there. Don't come or interfere in my life. Don't judge my life. Don't actually criticize my life. Whatever the life that I had selected, it is for me. I am going to lead it because there is a dreams in my eyes. There is a hope in my life. There is one expectation in my life that one day I will fulfill that dream. To fulfilling that dream, whatever the struggles and problems which are coming, I am going to do with lots of hard work. That the poet had said in a very proper way. I know they suffice for those who belong to them. You can see the poet is saying, I know it is very much required. Means suffice means, you can see in the slide, word meaning slide, it is given properly. Suffice means sufficient, full, adequate. So the poet is saying, I know they suffice for those who belong to them. It means, of course, people require, when you are not getting the achievements in your life, that time you really feel that some support I would get, some support I would get from anybody. But the poet is saying, I know if I will ask for help, definitely so many are going to come. But the poet is saying, I do not require anybody's help. I am where I am. Whatever I am going to do, it is me that I am going to move forward. I do not require anybody's request, anybody's support, anybody's help. Where I am satisfied. But whatever I know that I will do good for my future. I want to be strong enough for my future. So here in this stanza, the poet, if you would see, is very properly saying what here the poet is saying. The poet, in the starting line itself, he is saying that earth is enough for me to fulfill my desires. You all are saying that to fulfill my desires, earth is enough. The earth is fine. That earth is going to fulfill all my desires. The poet, if you would see, does not desire to be any closure to any of the group. The poet do not want to come in any of the groups. He says that I do not want to come in anybody's group, whether it is if the family members, all mother and father, all are in a medical field, they find that their child also comes in that, but the child is not having that necessity, or do not feel that I should be there because no interest is there in the medicine. How the child would be going over there? Feel what your heart says. There is no restrictions that all, both the family means mother and father, both of them, if you would see, are doctor, you also have to become doctor. What your heart says, that you think. If in family father and mother both are in a bank, it doesn't mean that you also have to move forward in the work hard and go in the bank. Where you feel that your heart says, where you feel that I would get a good interest over there, please move in that field. Don't be in others saying that you become this, you become that. What you feel that that field is beneficial for me, that field is correct for me, move forward in that. Okay, so that here it has been said, the poet is saying that wherever they are, means if parents are there, if somebody else are there, they are fine enough, they are good, but I am there to make my own future. Nobody is going to come in my life to make my future. It is me that I am going to make my own future. He knows that they are good enough for those who belong to them. Of course, nowadays if you would see, the people are every time supporting to each other, in order to become something in life. You can see they support to them, help to them, of course supporting. But here the poet is saying, I don't require anybody's help. I don't require. If something, if it is there na, it is going to come. I do not want any money. If you would see, I do not want wealth, material gain, anything. I do not mind want. If it is there to get in my life, I will definitely get, but I will never demand. I will never demand. Where they are, let it be. If in my life, if I have to earn more and more money, that is my target, I will get, but I will not beg in front of anyone to give it. I will not beg that I require it, please give me. No, that the poet is saying, I am strong enough to fulfill my dreams. I do not require any help. I do not require any group of people to support me. I do not require anybody saying, where they are, let them be happy. But I am here on my alone journey, and in this life journey I am going to fulfill my dreams. This is the stanza number 3. Moving to the stanza number 4, that is the last stanza of this poem. If you will pay attention to this poem, this stanza, especially last 4 lines, if you would see, is written in a bracket. Can you see it, students? From still up to return, you can see the bracket has been put up. When we put up the bracket, when some important thing we have to mention. Okay, if we are saying something and when we feel that the other person is not able to understand, we put the bracket to make it more clear. That's why we put the bracket. Why we put the bracket? To make the statement more clearer. So the last stanza, the poet is very clearly clarifies why he had written this poem, why he actually wants to say such things. And this last stanza, if you would see, is really cut off with the other three stanzas. In the first three stanzas, if you would see, the poet is enjoyingly, happily moving on the road in his life journey. He do not want the support of anyone, do not want to listen any criticism, complaint, problems of anyone. But in the last stanza, the poet knows his burden. What here it has been written, please look into it. Still, stanza 4, first line, still here I carry my old delicious burden. The poet is saying, I know I am having lots of burden on my shoulder, and that I'm going to complete it. I'm not saying that I'm running out of the burden. I am going to carry all my burdens in my life. I'm not running from the burdens. I am going to face the burden. I am going to face the burden. Okay, and that too in a very delicious way. Old burdens, old delicious burden. Old, it means the past. Whatever the problems, whatever the things that I want to do in my life, that I'm going to do in a delicious. Normally, if you would see, delicious word is used with the, with what? With the food. In the last slide you had seen, I had said in the glossary. But here he is saying whatever the sweet memories, the good days of my life is there, or struggling days of my life is there, I am going to remember it, and thinking this in mind, again I will work hard to make my life more better. So I will not throwing the burden from me. Burden is there, but I am going to fulfill or complete the burden in a very beautiful way, in a very delicious way. I carry them. Poet is saying, I carry all my problems and troubles. Burdens are, students, never going to stop. Once you complete or clear one burden, the another is standing in front of you. So the poet is saying, I am going to carry in my life. I am not going to move away. Struggles are there. I am going to face it. My men and women, I carry them, men and women, I carry them. Again, he is clarifying. You can see the figure, one figure of his speech is being used. I carry, and again he is saying, I carry. I carry, he is again saying, them with me wherever I go. The poet is saying that wherever I go, I will carry my troubles, problems, work which I am assigned. Whatever the work assigned to you, student, as a student, what are the works that assigned to you? To be a good citizen, to be an honest citizen, to become something in your life, respect your parents, after completing your graduation, after completing your studies, of course help to your parents. Okay, be, as parents are today helping you, same way in future also you have to become independent and help to them. So these are the responsibilities. Don't consider it as a burden, consider it that it's a sweet memories. It is going to happen, and I'm going to take the responsibility of my family in a very proper way. That's the strength that you should be having. So the poet is saying, men and women, listen everyone, I am going to do all my work, all the work that you had given, I am going to do. It means same way, if the teacher gives you some slides to study, study that day itself. Okay, be strong enough to complete it, then only we can hope for a good percentage in the 12th standard. Moving to the ahead, if you would see the second last line of the poem, the poet is swearing. The poet is saying, I swear. Swear means promise. I promise it is impossible for me to get rid of them. Them means, underline the word them. Them here, it means burden. Here them means THEM, them means burden. The poet is promising that I know burdens are, it is not that burdens, once I will complete one burden, the burdens will stop coming to me. No, the burdens are going to come regularly, and I am going to welcome it. I am not going to running off it from it. I am going to face it like a strong, determined, brave person. I am a brave person. I am not a coward. I am a brave to tackle all the problems in my life. That the poet is saying. Same way, students, in your life also, you as a girl or as a boy, you have to be strong enough to tackle all the problems which are coming in your life. Okay, and be strong. And don't feel that I have to move away from it. You have to stand there and face it. However difficult your subjects are there, don't fear from it. Face it. That the poet is telling in his poem. So the poet is saying that I am walking on the road. I promise you that I am going to complete or take all the burdens, and take the burdens in a positive way. Okay, I will never take it as a burden. I will take it in a positive way to solve it, and be happy to solve such, you can see, such burdens in his life. Same way we also have to understand, I swear it is impossible for me to get rid of them, they get rid of the burdens. I promise that I'm going to solve all the troubles in my life. I am filled with them. Of course, human life, if you would see, na, it is filled with the burdens, responsibilities, troubles, problems, worries, miseries. Are you running from it? No, we do not have to run from it, students. We have to face it like a strong human being. We have to face it like a strong human being. That the poet is saying. I will fill them in return. The poet is saying, whatever the Mother Earth had given me, once the time will come, I will strongly stand for my Mother Earth and I am going to fulfill all my burdens. Them, again the word them had come, it means burden. The poet is saying, I am filled with the burdens. Don't think that I am running off from the burden. If I am walking on the road openly, carefree, smiling on my smiling, don't think about the criticism, all things are there. But what is my work is to carry the burden, and that burden I am going to carry wherever whenever I am. And the poet is saying that I am strong enough to complete my burdens. So you can see the poet is a very optimistic. Okay, optimistic, it means very positive. He is saying that I am going to take my all burdens and not going to tell others to complete my burdens. It is up to me that I am going to complete all my burdens. And of course, new burdens would be standing, but like a strong human being, I am going to solve it. So the speaker, if you would see, declares very properly that he cannot rid himself from the burdens. Okay, burdens, if you would see, is a very symbolic. Okay, very symbolic over here, because it represents the problems and troubles which are coming in our life. We are filled with the troubles and problems. Yes, daily you can see that so many things are coming in your way, but don't run from it. Strongly, like a strong human being, we have to face it. Okay, and at last, I would say the speaker, that is the poet, accepts his burden and carries them with him wherever he goes. Okay, the poet is saying, of course, I am relaxing, carefree, stress free, but it doesn't mean that I am not going to carry my burden. I am going to carry my burden wherever I go. So, this is the poem all about. These 4 stanzas complete over here. So that brings us to the end of the lecture today. We had seen glossary of words and a big thing, that is line by line explanation of the poem. If those who had not understood in my last lecture about what's the poem all about, so in this lecture I hope that most of the student had got it, that what's the poem all about. Okay, so in the next lecture, what we are going to see? We are going to see figures of speech. Of course, line by line figures of speech we are going to see. What are the actually poetic device which are coming. So by the end, I would say read the poem once more. Think over the expressions, that is figures of speech, and enjoy learning. This is Garima Miss signing off. Stay home, stay safe.